have a dimple at the top of my right cheek. Everyone tells me it's cute, but the truth is, whenever I look at it, it reminds me of the reason I got it. When I was about 4, I was climbing over a chair. I fell and cut my face open against a table, which left me with the dimple. It's not the only scar on my face either. I have loads of cuts and marks because I was always having accidents. So eventually my mom took me to a therapist. My mom told me she knew I had a serious problem when the therapist asked me to draw a simple straight line. It didn't matter how many times he showed me how to draw it. I couldn't copy him. That's when I was diagnosed with dyspraxia. It's sometimes called clumsy child syndrome. So that's why I was falling over all the time. Dyspraxia means I have problems with muscle control, affecting my movement. My brain has difficulties with processing information as well. Facts go in, but they fall straight out again, so I can't remember things. I used to get in trouble at school because teachers would explain something to me, but 5 minutes later I'd forget what they just said. Everyone thought I was being the class clown when I said I couldn't remember, but I was telling the truth. After a while, it wasn't so funny. I struggled to learn how to read. It wasn't until I was 10 that those little squiggles on the page began to make sense, but by then, I'd gone from being the class clown to the stupid kid. I got teased all the time. People called me names. Nobody wanted to be friends with me. When I went into the 8th grade, everything changed. I had a new teacher. She was really patient and kind. She arranged for me to be tested for dyslexia. And I discovered I wasn't just dyslexic. I was severely dyslexic. Soon afterwards, I was diagnosed with dyscalculia as well. It turned out I had learning difficulties that affected my reading, writing, and math. Yay me! Now I had an explanation for why I'd been struggling so much in school. Things got easier. I got extra help with my classes and my grades improved. Some people still teased me, but when I told them about my diagnosis, most kids were understanding. I even made a few good friends, and we used to hang out together during lunch, talking about comics and movies. There are good things about having learning disabilities. Although I struggle with academic subjects, I'm really creative. It's like my mind's bursting with ideas all the time, and I have to express them with art. I recently won a local competition for one of my paintings. I was in the local newspaper and everything. Although my early years at school were really hard because of all my learning disabilities, I feel like being dyspraxic has made me a stronger person. I have good friends who love me for my strange little habits and understand that when I forget their name, it isn't personal. My brain just can't remember information very well. I see the world in a very different way to most people, and that's okay. My learning disabilities might mean I process information differently, but I'm not stupid. I've been watching loads of videos about psychology, and I love figuring out how the brain works. Maybe when I'm older, I'll become a psychologist and help kids who have dyspraxia and dyslexia, just like me.